Asocial inclinations like these are frequently a long way from perfect. Bottomless research shows the damages of social segregation, considered a genuine general medical issue in nations that have quickly maturing populaces, however discuss at forlornness pandemic might be exaggerated. In the UK, the Royal College of General Practitioners says that dejection has a similar hazard level for unexpected passing as diabetes. Solid social associations are significant for subjective working, engine work and an easily running insusceptible framework. This is particularly obvious from instances of outrageous social segregation. Instances of individuals kept in bondage, kids kept disengaged in oppressive shelters, and detainees kept in isolation all show how delayed isolation can prompt fantasies and different types of mental flimsiness. Be that as it may, these are serious and automatic instances of aloneness. For those of us who simply lean toward a lot of alone time, Rising Examination proposes some uplifting news. There are upsides to being withdrawn, for both our work lives and our enthusiastic prosperity. Creative space. One key advantage is improved imagination. Gregory Feist, who centers around the brain science of innovativeness at California's San Jose State University, has characterized imagination as intuition or movement with two key components, inventiveness and convenience. He has discovered that characteristics generally connected with innovativeness are transparency, responsiveness to new considerations and encounters, self-viability, certainty, and self-governance, freedom, which may incorporate an absence of worry for social standards, and an inclination for being distant from everyone else. Indeed, Feist's examination on the two craftsmen and researchers shows that one of the most noticeable highlights of inventive people is their lesser enthusiasm for mingling. One explanation behind this is such individuals are probably going to invest supported energy alone taking a shot at their specialty. Also, Feist says, numerous specialists are attempting to comprehend their inward world and a ton of inside close-to-home encounters that they're attempting to offer articulation to and importance to through their craft. Solitude takes into consideration the reflection and perception fundamental for that innovative procedure. An ongoing vindication of these thoughts originated from University at Buffalo analyst Julie Boker, who inquires about social withdrawal. Social withdrawal as a rule is sorted into three kinds: bashfulness brought about by dread or nervousness, evasion, from an aversion of mingling, and unsociability, from an inclination for isolation. A paper by Boker and her partners was the first to show that a kind of social withdrawal could have a beneficial outcome. They found that innovativeness was connected explicitly to unsociability. They additionally found that unsociability had no connection with hostility, bashfulness and evasion did. This was critical in light of the fact that while past research had recommended that unsociability may be innocuous, Boker and Associates' paper demonstrated that it could really be helpful. Unsociable individuals are probably going to be having recently enough cooperation, Boker says. They have an inclination for being separated from everyone else, except they additionally wouldn't fret being with others. There is sexual orientation and social variety, obviously. For example, some examination recommends that unsociable youngsters in China have more relational and scholarly issues than unsociable children in the West. Boker says that these distinctions are narrowing as the world turns out to be more globalized. In any case, for reasons unknown, isolation is significant for more than imagination. Inward focus. Recent research has given us a better understanding of why. One benefit of unsociability is the brain's state of active mental rest, which goes hand in hand with the stillness of being alone. When another person is present, your brain can't help but pay some attention. This can be a positive distraction. But it's still a distraction. Daydreaming in the absence of such distractions activates the brain's default mode network. Among other functions, this network helps to consolidate memory and understand others' emotions. Giving free rein to a wandering mind not only helps with focus in the long term but strengthens your sense of both yourself and others. Paradoxically, therefore, periods of solitude actually help when it comes time to socialize once more. And the occasional absence of focus ultimately helps concentration in the long run. A more recent proponent of thoughtful and productive solitude is Susan Cain, author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking and founder of Quiet Revolution, a company that promotes quiet and introvert-friendly workplaces. These days, we tend to believe that creativity emerges from a decidedly gregarious process, but in fact it requires sustained attention and deep focus, she says. Also, humans are such porous, social beings that when we surround ourselves with others, we automatically take in their opinions and aesthetics. To truly chart our own path or vision, we have to be willing to sequester ourselves, at least for some period of time. Hermit health. In any case, the line between helpful isolation and perilous disconnection can be foggy. Nearly anything can be versatile and maladaptive, contingent upon how outrageous they get, Feist says. A confusion has to do with brokenness. On the off chance that somebody quits thinking about individuals and cuts off all contact, this could highlight a neurotic disregard of social relations. Be that as it may, imaginative unsociability is a long ways from this. Indeed, Feist says, there's a genuine peril with individuals who are rarely alone. It's difficult to be reflective, mindful, and completely loosened up except if you have periodic isolation. What's more, self-observers will in general have less, however more grounded fellowships, which has been connected to more noteworthy satisfaction. Similarly as with numerous things, quality rules over amount. Supporting a couple of strong connections without wanting to continually populate your existence with prattling voices eventually might be better for you. In this way, if your character inclines toward unsociability, you shouldn't want to change. Obviously, that accompanies admonitions. In any case, as long as you have normal social get in touch with, you are picking isolation as opposed to being constrained into it, you have at any rate a couple of old buddies and your isolation is useful for your prosperity or efficiency, there's no point obsessing about how to fit a square character into a round gap.